this morning I awake wondering how I can glorify God. This is not my usual way of being, but I am just recovering from major surgery, and I will show you my very proud scar, which has literally saved my life, and that being full glory to God. I awoke with this question this morning, saying how can I thank God for being there and answering all of my prayers. And I spoke with Pastor Moses, and the best way that I can do this is by sharing my testimony. I'm normally in a much better state, but just recovering from major surgery. So I'm going to try and speak from my heart here and share my journey to help inspire and put hope in those that may be going through a similar situation to what I have been through. So it started around a year ago, when I had or could not pass very large clots within my urine or within my system. So I prayed, or Pastor Moses prayed with me at that time, as I was in quite some distress about, to say, a year and a half ago, when I had clots stuck within my system, and I couldn't quite pass them. So I recall speaking with Pastor Moses to help me comfortably pass, and so they did. They eventually passed, and then I spent a year back and forth in A&E, maybe 5 or 6 visits to A&E, and was misdiagnosed with it being possible adenomyosis and fibroids that were causing this very heavy bleeding. I intrinsically knew that something wasn't right. I continued to pray. I had Pastor Moses, my very close friend Janice, and many people praying for me. And eventually, April just passed. I had quite a lot of symptoms again of urinating in my blood, or blood in my urine, and also passing clots for nearly 1 month. So eventually I speak to my doctor, and I asked my doctor whether this could possibly be coming from my bladder. So eventually I had more tests, and I was taken for an ultrasound for my bladder, and in some sense this was a miracle in itself that I was ordered a scan for my bladder, but the radiologist took the scan up onto my kidney, and straight away she said my bladder was clear, but there was something within my kidney. So I then had a CAT scan, which revealed a tumour on my kidney. I was then sent for many tests, and of course that there was a tumour. I remember speaking to my doctor to thank her for sending me for a scan, and at this point she did say that it's actually luck at play, and I said no, I don't think it is luck. I think this is the power of prayer, and this is God's work, because it was in her regard luck that it had been found, but for me it was the power of prayer that finally the cause of my suffering for 1 full year had finally been found, when it could have continuously been misdiagnosed and I would be in a very different situation if it wasn't for the glory of God and the answer of the prayers that they found this tumour on my kidney. So since then I've been into hospital. You'll see a very large scar, which I say I'm extremely proud of, because this has now saved my life. I've had cancer, and I've had grade 3 cancer, and I've had my lymph nodes removed as well. But again, on Friday, to receive my results, and I've now had the all clear that the cancer has gone, and all has been safely removed from my system. So I also remember one time in hospital when I had a little bit of a side effect, and I had a leak coming from my stomach, and at that point my good friend Janice had sent me the prayer fest, And obviously I wasn't fully comprehensive because of all the medication that I was taking, but I remember one day listening to one of the prayers, and I remember it speaking of burning or drying up with the fire. And I had quite an extensive leak coming from the drain that I had in my stomach. And maybe about 2 days after this leak, and listening to the prayer fest, the leak had dried and my wound on that area had started to heal. So I really wanted to share my testimony today, just to have faith in the power of prayer and to give all this glory to God for healing, the healing